Good morning. Welcome to Good to Know Talk series, where our focus here is to provide financial strategies and tax tips to help grow your business and save on taxes. We understand that business owners are on the move and you need to know how information applies to your personal business. Our host, Janean Kong, and owner of Smart Tax and Business Solutions. I am a certified tax strategist and enrolled agent. I help pay less tax through proactive tax planning. With us this morning on the call, we have James Kaw. And he's my trusted source in the industry. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Janine. How are you?
I'm good. Did you have a chance to take the holiday yesterday? Or were you working?
No, I didn't. So I think I maybe calling in a half day on Friday for Good Friday and then make it a 2.5 day weekend.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, this morning I'm really excited as we continue our, series in real estate. We have a special guest with us today, Melvin Guerrero, and he is a realtor and broker with locations. Melvin specializes in residential resales of homes, townhouses, and condos on Oahu. First-time home buyers, luxury homes, investment properties, second homes, multi-unit buildings. He also specializes in investor buying and selling of properties. And he's an experienced property manager for previous investor clients. Good morning, Melvin. Welcome. Oh, we can't hear you, Melvin.
I think he may be muted.
Good morning, Janine. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Mel.
I needed to get that reminder to unmute yourself. So thank you.
Good. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I was looking at your bio and I see here that you are Hawaii's only Master of Real Estate degree achiever. Can you tell us a little bit about this designation?
Yes. So it's actually a newer designation that the National Association of Realtors actually came out with. And they decided that they need to kind of up their ante. And what they need to do is show to the consumers that real estate is a professional career. And so they created this master's program where you actually do get a master's degree in real estate. And I have my concentration in residential and commercial sales. So they do have other designations for it. You could do it in commercial or you can do it in appraisals. But I chose to just stay with residential.
Yeah.
So kind of like you too, Janine, you have like the only certified tax strategist too. So yes, we are in good hands, whoever is listening.
Yeah, thank you. The last few weeks we've been, talking specifically about real estate. And, last week we had James Chan who talked about 1031 exchanges. And the week before that, we had Darren Odino who talked a little bit about the lending side of real estate. So I wanted to kind of pick your brain a little bit this morning about investing. And, if a client comes to you and says, hey, Mel, I already own a home and I want to get into real estate investing. How do I start? Where do I start?
Yeah, a lot of people who own homes, that is pretty much what they don't know where to start. And so what the best thing to do is to determine what you can afford. That would be step one. Does my house have the equity in order to invest? Do I have savings in, the bank that I can pull out and invest? Maybe, retirement vehicles may allow for that as well. Maybe you want to do a hui up with your family members or with other trusted advisors that you guys could actually partner together. So the first thing to determine how much money you guys have as far as either a down payment or to buy out an investment property outright. And then you need to decide if you also have additional income monthly to qualify for an investment loan. Lenders are going to tell you that in order for you to purchase an investment property, you need at least 25 to 40% down, depending on the asset. And then you need to have the ability to absorb those costs of your investment should the tenants not pay for 1 to 6 months, etc. And if you don't have enough income, you can still invest, but you would just need to work at paying all cash for the different types of investments. Real estate investment.
Would you say it's easier to get into investing if in property, as a primary residence?
Yeah, for sure. I would say that you need to have a primary residence first. And the reason why is, owning property really teaches you about the discipline of maintaining an asset. And investment property is another asset, and it's going to need to be maintained. So it's easier to start after you have already owned a property yourself. You're disciplined in paying that monthly mortgage, in providing for your family on top of paying for your investment property. And so when you have additional income, it's easier to actually make that transition into investing into another real estate asset after you have owned your primary residence already.
What are some thinking of getting into real estate investing?
What was that? Say that one more time.
What are some common concerns here from people who are thinking about getting into investing?
A lot of people are scared. The fear factor is all set in. I always hear that, they really want to make that step forward into real estate investing, but they just don't know exactly what to do. And they're scared because real estate investing can be somewhat scary. Most people stop at owning their primary residence and that's it, and they don't want to do anything else. The other part besides fear is they don't want to deal with tenants. They don't know how to be a landlord, or they don't know how to fix certain items, who to call if, for plumbing issues or for repairs, or, to change out the carpets, or, just the maintaining of that additional property. A lot of people have primary jobs, and they feel that if they get into another investment property, that it's going to be like a second job, or they would have to quit their primary position in order to take care of their real estate assets. But there are property managers out there that can help with those concerns. And those property managers are really your asset protectors. And those people should be your trusted advisors as far as taking care of a real estate investment. So just like you have somebody to take care of your investment portfolio with the stock market, like James Kong, you also have somebody that can take care of your real estate assets as well. So that would probably be the most common way to get over that fear of investing, is by knowing who you're going to be able to trust to take care of your property, how much it's going to cost really, and can I make that leap forward by taking money out of my current residence or my savings or other vehicles in order to purchase or acquire this real estate investment property.
Do you have maybe a common scenario you could share with us that, you know, in your experience and how you've been able to help your client, you know, start investing?
Yeah, you know, I'm going to take it down. There's several scenarios. Common one is, I'm going to speak for is locally. You know, when kids start to go into college and perhaps somebody, you know, is living in either side of the island, North Shore, Leeward side, even, you know, East Honolulu, and their kids are going to UH in Manoa or Hawaii Pacific University, there is housing expense involved. And so instead of having their children or their young adults commute to college, a lot of them have asked me to help buy them a condo in Waikiki or Makiki or Punahou or Manoa or, you know, the Macaulay areas, wherever it's close enough for their children to use that that unit for while they're attending UH. And then potentially as a young adult, after they graduate college, they would stay there to get into the workforce. And then the parents would gift them that property to them. And, you know, those young adults now can then purchase either their single family residence or perhaps a bigger unit if they're to get married or have children, etc. So that's one of the most common ones that I have helped with people here locally on the island. Because Hawaii is so beautiful and everybody wants to own a piece of the rock, there is so many people that have actually that purchase properties from the mainland or from other countries, from Canada, Japan, everywhere else. And they also have that same fear factor too, as far as, you know, do I want to purchase a second investment property or a third or a fourth? Like, how do I do that? And so I have to go down those same exact questions as far as fear goes, as well as, you know, who's going to take care of my asset if I'm not going to be there and those kind of sort of things. And so it's a matter of just making them feel comfortable and giving them the right resources and putting them in the right direction. And showing them a lot of different ways to understand being a real estate investor. So the other thing too is people see, you know, a lot of appreciation on the island. Places are appreciating, you know, pretty quickly. In some neighborhoods, they're appreciating, you know, 30 to 40% from the last 10 years. And, you know, that's a lot of money, and they just want to gain some wealth from, you know, just a little bit of that pot. You know, they want to take advantage of that appreciation and buy a condo and have it rented out. And in many cases, when you do that, you're actually making money on, you know, two ways. You're making money on a monthly cash basis if you're able to have a tenant pay for, you know, your mortgage if you do have one. And you're also making money on the appreciation. So, you know, it's very similar to owning a primary residence. You know, becoming a real estate investor is just another tool to invest. So those are the common scenarios that I've seen.
Yeah, I hear vacation rentals is becoming more popular with investors.
Yeah, you know, Hawaii is so transient that vacation rentals are not going to go away. You know, it's like, you know, we do so much to try and prevent it from happening, but I really, you know, think that we should embrace it as much as we can, limit it in certain neighborhoods or buildings, and just encourage it, because Hawaii thrives off of tourism, and you don't want to be the one state where everybody loves to go to, but hey, we don't have vacation rentals, you know? It's like, that doesn't make sense. So vacation rentals are very popular here. There are condo hotels that you could actually purchase where you own a unit within the condo and they have a front desk. And if you are not using that condo rental unit, you could actually put it into the hotel pool, and the hotel will manage it, and they will market the unit for you, and they will put guests into your unit. They will have it cleaned. They will have it maintained by the maintenance crew. And they will continue to rent out your unit until you want to come back to the islands, or if you want to do a staycation in Waikiki that weekend, you can use your condo unit. And so the hotel is really acting as your property manager, and they are doing everything they can to market out that condo hotel. Some of the caveats to that, though, is they have to be purchased in cash. There are some larger condo hotels that you can purchase with a loan. They do require a larger down payment, but it's just another avenue. And a lot of people that don't live here on the island, they love condo hotels because they know that the hotel has to make money as well. And so the hotel is going to do everything they can to try and keep those hotels full. And with our occupancy rate in the hotels being at such high levels the last few years, condo hotels is a really great asset to make money on a monthly basis, but also have some appreciation. They don't appreciate as quickly as other places, but they do appreciate somewhat. So it's just a tangible asset. You can go and you can touch and feel everything that you own when you want to relax there. So yeah, vacation rentals are a big thing. Besides condo hotels, vacation rentals are all over the island. You know, I think the city and county is looking at how they can start issuing out some bed and breakfast licenses again. So yeah, there are a bunch of Airbnbs and VRBOs and a whole bunch of stuff throughout the island. So yeah, vacation rentals is a great place to start.
And Mel, it's James here. There's a couple questions from listeners. So I have two questions that I wanted to ask you from some of the listeners. And so one of them asked, it's believed that we're currently in a bubble because of high costs of real estate. Would it make sense to wait to invest after the bubble bursts? So what are your thoughts? And then there's something that I wanted to add to address that as well once you're finished.
You know, I really would wish that I knew when the bubble was going to burst because I would pull out all of my investments before I did. No, you know, there's so many regulations now in real estate that a lot of economics, you know, professors or people, they don't believe we're quite in a bubble for Hawaii, so to speak. Hawaii is just so densely populated and we have no more land. And we have so many people that want to own in Hawaii. And in order for them to purchase a property, you know, there's multiple people that is bidding off of one property, and that's kind of what's raising the values. So as we continue to build new developments, you know, that will kind of help with the values to stabilize, but there's not going to be a huge burst as it happened with the Japanese bubble back in the 90s or the mortgage financing bubble that happened in, you know, 2006 to 2010. You know, a lot of regulations have stopped a lot of those. So as far as the bubble goes, I don't really think that it's going to be a bubble. A lot of people have said that it's kind of going to just flatline, but then it'll continue to rise again after that. And if you look over a span of 30 years of real estate in Hawaii, it has always gone up, you know, usually in 10-year cycles or so. So I would say get into it now because properties continue to rise. We thought that there was going to be a bubble burst like, you know, 2 years ago, and there wasn't. You know, maybe we think it's going to happen in 2 years, but we just don't know. You know, I really wish I had one of those crystal balls.
And what I can add to that is that I discuss with clients if they're looking at either primary investment properties is really the cost of waiting. So, you know, I'm sure Mel's familiar with the figure that since 1985, single family homes on Oahu have appreciated at roughly 4.9% year over year. So I think the cost of waiting is if and when, and I believe, I don't have a crystal ball just like Mel doesn't, but I believe interest rates are going to continue to go higher. So what does that mean? The ability to borrow money from the bank for a mortgage is going to be more costly to consumers. So let's just say if the Oahu real estate market continues at 4.84% year over year, and you're waiting for that bubble, yet interest rates tick up to 4.5%, 5.5%, then you're going to be having to pay more interest out of pocket as interest rates rise. So that's generally what I look at, because if people had money sitting on the sideline for the last couple of years in the stock market, same thing. If I could time when the market was going to burst, I wouldn't be talking to you guys. I'd be in Bali with a pina colada right now. So it's
I'll
so
be right
like,
there with you.
yeah, me and Mel will be over there if we could time the market. But unfortunately, there's not very many people that can. So if you wait, especially with real estate in Hawaii and Oahu, I don't think Mel's trying to be salesy. I just think the cost of waiting can be very costly, especially in a rising rate environment.
Yeah.
And then one more question for you, Mel, is that someone attended Real Estate Association of Maui Caravans, Real Estate Brokers. Is it good time to buy now or wait? So I guess we kind of addressed that, but are there specific tricks when looking for a home that would help weed out different locations and narrow their search?
Yeah, so one of the first things is, what is your budget? Mm-hmm. Once you find out what your budget is, that's going to cut out a whole bunch of areas for you to even look at. And then the second part would be like, what do I need this for? Is this my primary residence, or is this an investment property? If it's your primary residence, I think you have a little bit more of needs and wants as far as, what type of property you want or to purchase. If it's an investment property, you can pretty much go all over. There's really no limitation to an investment property. You're just looking at, hey, how much can I get on a monthly basis from this rental? Is it going to be able to deliver to me more than if I was to take that money and put it into a bank? Right now, real estate is actually a really good way to have a secured asset where you can take advantage of the appreciation, but also have a monthly, tenant there. You can actually go to your unit and just, you really can go there and look without giving notice, but at least you can go and see this asset, so that's why real estate is so good. But I think those are the main two things: determine what your budget is, and then determine what your needs and your wants are. Once you figure those out, it would really cut out a lot of areas for you not even to look. A lot of people don't want to commute, so really anything from Salt Lake or Halava into town is really what people are going to be looking for. If they don't mind commuting, you have the whole entire leeward side to North Shore to windward side to look at properties. So yeah.
Got it.
So yeah.
Yeah, those are the two questions. So I'll hand it back over to Janine.
Melvin, I saw that you were featured on HGTV's Beach Hunters, the Oahu Beach Hunt episode. How did that happen?
I was on HGTV. Gosh, that was so nerve-wracking, but it was a fun experience. We're actually working on another series right now. So I had a client that actually purchased a beach home in Eva, forget this, right on the water for $740,000, and that is a steal. So they reached out to me and they said, "Hey, looks like you were able to assist somebody in purchasing a property. Would your clients be interested in doing a show?" And so, of course, we had to go through the entire interview process and stuff like that. And then, they tell us like what you can say, what you can't say, and they actually chose the two other comparable properties, and they said, okay, you need to go into these properties and you need to give us your best reaction as far as what do you guys think about this property, And they had like a property that was over $1 million, and my client's first response was like, I can't afford this. And they're like, no, don't say that. We want to know like what your reactions are of the property. And they're like, well, that's our first reaction, you're giving us properties that we can't afford. So that was one of the funny things, is because I'm like, people know if they can't afford it, they're not going to look at it, Mm-hmm. So besides that, anyway, so they purchased that about 1.5 years ago, and then we taped it in September, and they just aired it in January of this year. Mm-hmm. So it is a very long process as far as how long it takes. But yeah, I was on HGTV Beach Hunters. If you guys go watch it, they have really cool beaches all over the mainland that I've never known. There's actually a really good one in Oregon, and I was like, wow, that's a really pretty beach. So yeah, it was a cool thing. If you guys ever have a chance to get on a TV show, do it. It's so much fun. We got to do a series with James Kong and Janean Kong. G2K on HGTV.
How can our listeners get more information, about you? How can they get in contact with you if they have more questions?
Yeah, they can get in contact with me. I'm with locations, Melvin, Leon, Guerrero. I don't know if you share information, but they can Google me. I'm on the locations website, or my phone number is 286-8005. I text, email, video calls, FaceTime, whatever is most convenient for you, however you want to communicate. It's up to you.
Okay.
But I think, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Do you know of any other resources that, are there seminars or any type of, just any other resources that maybe listeners can take a look at when it comes to investing?
They have a lot of seminars to become a homeowner. Or if you're not a homeowner, how can you get into the market, or first-time homeowner? They really don't have seminars on becoming an investor. And, that's one thing that, hopefully locations will actually take that step forward to doing. Or, there's private consultations that realtors can do to teach them about investing and what steps they need to take. I would also have them speak with different property management companies if they are looking to real estate investing, and to get a feel of how they operate. What are their expectations for their property manager. I actually have a client that works for the city and county, and he's going to be retiring soon. And I helped him acquire a 4-unit property, and now he's going to be the property manager for his own property. But he likes it. He likes the ability to go there and talk to his tenants and fix things whenever he needs to. And that's going to be his second career. And so talking to property management company, what happened, realtor, your asset advisors, stocks, investment advisors. I think those will be good resources to figure out how much you can take out and what you can do to invest. And also your CPA for sure, your whatever penalties, or your tax strategist person to see, what penalties that might come across for your taxes. I think you need to build your own team. That's the most important part, is when you become a seasoned investor, you're going to have a team of people you can rely on. And that's the most important part.
Well, thank you, Mel, for being with us today. We are actually at the end of our time today. If you want to get in touch with Melvin, you can email us at info@smarttaxhawaii.com, and we can get his information to you. You can also look him up on Location's webpage. Thank you again, Mel, for being with us and just talking story with us.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Janine. Thank you, James.
Yeah, we look forward to next week, same time, same place. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Janine and Mel. Take care. Bye.
Bye.